Okay, so today we are going to do some stretches to help you with your sciatica pain. For props, you're going to need a chair. A folding chair works well, a pillow or a bolster, and some blocks if you have them. If you don't, you can use the chair. Also, if you need, we are going to be on our hands and our knees for a couple of poses, so if you need them, place them across the mat so that you have a little cushion for your knees. And go ahead and come to your hands and your knees, placing your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, grounding through your palms. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, lift your tailbone. Exhale, push your palms into the ground, tuck your chin, but keep your pelvis at a neutral position. Go ahead and hug baby in. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, lift your tailbone. Exhale, round your back, tuck your chin. Pelvis neutral position. Couple more times. Inhale up and exhale round. Inhale and exhale. Coming to a neutral position, go ahead and grab your blocks if you have them, or your chair. Placing your chair out in front of you or your blocks in front of the mat. Taking your right foot, bring it into the top of the mat, blocks on either side of your front foot or hands to your chair. Inhale, sink your hips down, lift your chest, lift your chin. Exhale, press that front foot into the mat, sitting your hips back, straightening your front leg. Inhale, forward. And exhale back. One more time. Inhale forward. Exhale, ground through your front foot. Push your hips back and hold this back. You should feel an intense stretch on your back hamstring here. Notice your breath. Have the flexibility, you can take your hands down to the mat, framing your front foot. On your next inhale, lunge forward and bring your foot back to meet your other one. Taking your hips from side to side, wiggling them up a little bit. Switching to the opposite side, left foot to the front of the mat, hands to your blocks or the chair. Inhale, lunge, sinking your hips, lifting your chest, lifting your chin. Exhale, pushing through your front foot, sitting your hips back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale forward, lifting your chest. Exhale, pressing your front foot into the mat, sitting your hips back, and holding it. On your next inhale, lunging forward, taking your foot back, and rocking your hips from side to side. And now we are going to do a figure 4 stretch. I'm going to show you a couple variations on how to do it. Starting with your chair, sitting on your chair, taking your foot to the opposite side of your thigh, pressing your hand, opening that knee out. If it feels comfortable, you can lean forward a little bit, but make sure you keep your chest lifted and you're not rounding your back. The second version is going to be laying on your side, taking your top leg, placing it on front of your bottom leg's thigh. You can stay here, or you can walk that bottom leg closer to you. If it feels good, pressing that top leg open. And then the final version is doing a seated figure 4. Coming to your bottom, feet into the mat, taking your leg, placing it on the opposite thigh, making sure your hands are 1, 2 hand lengths behind you, lifting your chest and breathing. And once you find your version, hold that for a couple breaths and then switch to the opposite side. Our next version we're going to do, you're going to come to your bottom. This is a cow pose. Taking your top leg, crossing it over your bottom, bending both knees. Make sure your sit bones are grounded into the mat. So you want to be able to feel both your sit bones into the mat, keeping your legs a little bit wider, hands to your ankles. If your sit bones can't stay grounded, go ahead and take that bottom leg and straighten it out. Still keeping that top leg grounded. Lengthening up the crown of your head, and your exhale, lean forward slightly. Inhaling back up, and go ahead and switch to the opposite side, taking the other leg on top. If it feels good, you can do the full version with both legs bent. If not, go ahead and straighten your bottom leg. Make sure your sit bones are grounded, lengthening out the crown of your head, and lean forward with your chest. And inhale, come back up. And we are going to do a pigeon stretch, and this is an intense stretch. I like to use a lot of props for this stretch, but if you do not have any props, I'll show you that version first. You're going to take your right foot, placing it on top of the mat, bending your knee at a 90-degree angle, and keeping your left leg shooting out. Now, I want to make sure that you are sitting on top of your hips, so don't be rolling over to the side. I want you to keep your chest lifted and feel that stretch along your hamstring and that back leg that's shooting. If you do have props, you can take a pillow or a bolster. Seat back of the cushions on your couch work really well. Take that across your mat, your foot in front, toe heel it over to the side, pressing that back leg back, and then keeping your chest lifted here. Go ahead and once you find your version, hold that for a couple breaths, and then switch to the opposite side. In our last move, we're going to grab our chair, or you can use a wall for this as well. So you would go up to a wall, place your hands on the wall, or a chair, placing your hands on the chair, walking your feet back, taking them wider than your hips, and then pressing into your heels. I don't want you to collapse down into your chest. Keep your chest lifted. You should feel a good stretch along your hamstrings, and make sure you're taking a generous bend in your knees here. Couple more breaths. And then go ahead and bring your feet back together.